Hey guys, this is here bringing you another video. Now, welcome back to Climb to Master Technically. We're on the main account, we're doing a replay of this. And what this game is technically my last game on the main account for Season 10. So I thought I would do this episode as a kind of double whammy, as in it's a commentary and I'm going to talk about the game, but also kind of like an in-summary video talking about what I thought of Season 10 as a whole. And obviously, I will just say, it's not incredibly, massively positive things. I'm not like this season, but I also think, and apologies, by the way, if I've not been hiding that very well. I just haven't liked this season. But it's not all the season's fault. It's not all League of Legends' fault. It's the year that we're in. We're all dealing with something externally, obviously, that's massively affected all of our lives. And I've been dealing with that very up and down. And with League of Legends being such an emotional game, I've just not really had it in me to fully go into Season 10 with like a massive try-hard feeling, because it's just been bleh. And then combining what I would say, and by the way, we're playing Vel'Koz versus Syndra this game. This season for me, and I've mentioned it a lot, and I've said to you guys, what are your opinions on it, and how are you dealing with it? It does seem that I'm not the only one, that everybody is experiencing more AFKers, more inters this season than ever before. And maybe that's linked to the external thing that we're dealing with, making everybody be staying indoors more and not really doing much with our lives in 2020. Maybe that's linked, and maybe that's why the atmosphere in League of Legends is very ragey right now, and has been for most of this season, if I'm honest. But yeah, let me know if obviously you've been dealing with that too. But the season itself, I'm going to be ending the season officially in Diamond 3, which is, I believe, the lowest finish I've had for a few years. Last season, I actually finished in Diamond 2. This season also is a low peak season for me. Last year, obviously, we had our highest ever peak rating of Master. Before that, it's normally Diamond 1. This season, I believe we peaked very close to Diamond 1 promo. So about Diamond 2 90-ish LP, I believe, is the highest I peaked this season, which is pretty bad. But obviously in a season that I'm saying, I kind of took this as a more of a recharge than anything else. You know, I've been pretty all in League of Legends for 10 years. This season was a more relaxed League year for me. That's not terrible, so I'm not beating myself up because of it. Am I disappointed that I didn't give this season a big try? Sure, in some ways, but in other ways, no. But what I would say is, as a positive, I am looking forward to Season 11. You know, I have, in my gut, I have been kind of feeling that competitive urge for a little while, but it's been just too late in the season. And also the main account, it does feel, and I know it's silly for saying it, it does feel somewhat cursed. The percentage of inters or leavers or whatever on this account is extremely high. And if you're watching this on YouTube, obviously, I'm not streaming right now, you guys may not get that, or you may get annoyed when I say those things. Meanwhile, I knock up Syndra. Kayn is on the way, looking for a gank. And a teleport by Aurelia's coming to try and stop this gank happening, which is a bit crazy. And also Graves is mid lane as well. So Kayn has to flash and we just walk away. But if you're a stream viewer, that obviously you watch every single game, you guys will attest to, oh my god, this is crazy how many bad things happen on Huzzy's main account. If you're a YouTube audience, you won't get that, because obviously I'm just not uploading games that there's an inter or feeder or whatever it may be, because it's not worth it. Anyway, big play potentially happening. I just missed the knockup because Graves has his E up. He also has flash available anyway. And exhaust come through, but nobody dies in the end. And by the way, you will notice it's Twitch bot lane with Morgana. And weirdly, both of them have taken exhaust, which obviously is a slight mistake. But I guess not the worst thing in the world, but there's that. We have an Akali top lane, we have a Kayn mid. So our comp itself is actually quite strong. Twitch is a champion. Obviously, I'm not a fan of Twitch jungle. He is a strong champion. He does a crazy amount of damage if allowed to like freely auto attack or whatever. So yeah. So we're playing Vel'Koz. I do think I make a mistake here. We go for the Dark Seal Corrupting Potion start to lane. I do like this start. It's a very comfortable start for me, but what it also does is make you so much weaker to your lane opponent if they go for, like, full AP. So you can see Syndra has got double Amp Tome right now. She's also in lane. She's already a level ahead. She's going to be XP ahead right now. She's XP ahead because of all that crazy situation. She's also gone double AP. So that was, I will say, a bad idea from me. Straight up a bad idea from me to do that. I should have matched the double Amp Tome. Because at least then I would have been able to, like, match her damage more equally. So that's also something that I will say, and I've said it for years. Meanwhile, she hits level 6 when I just hit level 5. I've said it for ages that I just need to get the confidence back to play more aggressive. And I think it is also in part, meanwhile, Syndra doing a bit of damage, pops a phase rush, going for that damage. I pop barrier, and she nearly kills me already. But I think it is in part, the reason why sometimes I play more passive or I don't go kind of all in is because I am streaming while I play, or I'm making a video while I play. It is a pretty big distraction. Meanwhile, I flash and I get her flash in return. So hopefully Kayn will come back for a return gank. But the early game here has been pretty rough for me. We're 20-odd farm down. We've already obviously had a bit of pressure going on here or there. And the Syndra herself is ahead in XP and farm, as we mentioned. But yeah, the distraction of being a content creator isn't the easiest thing to do when you're actually wanting to play well. Meanwhile, yes, we're getting ganked again. Graves on the way, and I am going to be a dead Vel'Koz. I'm just trying to do some return damage, but by the way, that was also a Nautilus as well. So Nautilus was there, Graves was there, and obviously Syndra, who's already doing well. So this is a rough game for me so far. You may get why this isn't a live commentary. What I do, by the way, if you're wondering, like, what does Huz do when a game doesn't go good in the early game? A lot of the time, I just put music on. I keep playing, obviously, but I kind of stop live commentating because I do want to win these games, and I know commentating hurts my chances of winning. So I stop kind of commentating, and I turn music on, obviously now on Twitch, copyright-free music, and I just kind of focus on playing the game more, or as much as I can. And obviously, this game's going to be rough. We're at a massive disadvantage right now, so the best thing I can do is just kind of chill. Try not to get further behind, farm as well as I can, but without being too much of a risk, and hope we get to kind of mid-game, where, in essence, Syndra is going to have way better 1v1 kill pressure on me for the rest of the game, practically, until maybe late game, where we can, like, equalize our items. But you have to accept that she is going to be stronger in the 1v1. She's obviously designed as a champion to 1v1 things. But what can Vel'Koz do? Arguably, I can teamfight better if I play it pretty well. Meanwhile, put down a ward over here. Notice that it's a control ward. I put a control ward in our jungle because that's where Graves is mainly coming from, is this area. I couldn't actually kill that control ward, by the way, because Syndra rewarded. And by the way, Graves instantly straight back in that area. So I don't know if these two are duo, the Graves and Syndra, but they were working together quite a bit, which is unfortunate for me. Graves in the dragon area, which does send the message that they want to probably do dragon, which is infernal. But there's that. But yeah, going back onto obviously season 10 a little bit. Disappointing season for me, but let's just use the wording. It's a recharge year for me. So hopefully next season I'm recharged and I can kind of try hard again, which I am looking forward to do. Because, yeah, season 9, even though I didn't love the season, we did get a pretty good rating in that season at the same time. So hopefully season 11 will be good. Obviously, we're going to have a fresh feeling of League of Legends with all the new items. Meanwhile, the enemy team got the dragon. Now a big fight is actually breaking out. Kayn in a 1v3. Survives for a while, but will go down to Syndra ultimate in the end. Twitch fighting the Kai'Sa. She will go down in the end. Nautilus cooking onto a minion. Graves in the area. I'm roaming down to see what I can do. And it's going to be a tricky situation. I do hit the Q on him, but then Syndra comes to me. Bind comes out. She misses it, but Graves is now out of the fight-ish. Graves also in the area. I'm going to be looking for him. I go for an ultimate, which is risky because Syndra is obviously right here. I barrier to block some of the damage. I get the shutdown for one. And now this should be, you would think, a relatively easy-ish kill that she's basically out of mana. All this takes is abilities to get hit. Obviously, Morgana Bind would be the main one because then that enables the rest of the abilities to land. Unfortunately for us, though, none of the binds are actually hitting. Both of us are incredibly low, and we both get killed. So that was unfortunate. I think there was 3 binds that were missed there. again, it happens, unfortunately for us. But well done to Syndra. She played it well. Obviously, you know, that was one of two halves. Morgana missing binds, and me missing spells, and also Syndra dodging. So, again, never forget, if the Syndra wasn't dodging well, she would have got hit by something probably, and then probably died. But she dodged everything. So there's that. If you're wondering what the answer to that should have probably been, Morgana should have probably run into the Syndra when she had no mana and just like right next to her, hit her with a bind. It's harder to dodge in that way. Meanwhile, Kayn fighting a Graves who's actually a level down on him, but it doesn't matter because Graves is really strong and Kayn at the moment doesn't have his form. And Kayn without his form isn't the strongest champion. Becomes very strong when he has his form, though this obviously Kayn going red Kayn because he's running Conqueror. And Rift Herald is being done, or about to be. A bit of a risky Rift Herald. I'm not a massive fan of this because, like, Syndra right now is so much stronger than me. She's got lane priority, like, that she's pushing it probably quite fast. And I cannot, like, lose farm or XP to the tower right now because I need to kind of catch back up. So if I completely abandon this minion wave in mid lane and go, oh, no, I'm going to go over to the Rift, then I'm just getting further behind. I need opportunities to catch back up. So yeah, I'm happy that that Rift Herald didn't officially get done. Looking for a bit of damage in the Syndra. I'm landing a little bit Herald there, which isn't too bad. But yeah, just continue farming. And this game, by the way, as I said, last game on my main account for Season 10. It obviously not looking great. We're 1-2 right now. We're down still 20-ish farm. But we are playing Vel'Koz. And I will say, I may as well... by the way, here's another situation. Yes, we're getting 3-man gank. Graves here again. Nautilus here again. Syndra presses R, and I'm dead. So this was unfortunate. Like, I don't really know what I could do about this. Like, obviously, yes, have more vision. But I have to have vision basically everywhere because they're ganking now from all sides. So yeah, this is an unfortunate situation. Some people in my stream are like, oh, do you think they're watching the stream? Do they think you know who you are? Honestly, no. Meanwhile, Twitch gets killed by Aurelia TP. I don't think so. It's just in a mobile Vel'Koz. He's a very easy champion to camp. And we're already behind this game. So it's easier to camp a champion that's already behind. If you're camping a champion that's fed, you have a risk of dying yourself. I'm weak, so that's why they're probably going for me. But as a summary, let's do a little summary of my main account. So my most played champion this season was Shen, and I actually had 49 games of Shen with a negative win rate, 49% win rate on Shen, which is crazy, but that does lead to the point that Shen is a team playing champion sometimes, for the most part. And I think my Shen's pretty good. We've had some very good performances on him. But this is where, on my main account at least, I have felt, and it sounds like a terrible excuse, and I know it sounds terrible, but like, have been let down by teammates. And Shen isn't a good champion if you're wanting to trust your teammates, because, you know, you're playing Shen to protect and carry your teammates by protecting them and ulting them. So that's probably why. But my KDA on him is pretty good. 3.5 KDA. 4.5 kills a game, 4.1 deaths, 10 assists. That's actually really good stats. Then Darius, 20 games of Darius. 45% win rate. So again, another negative win rate. And we have a 1.84 KDA. So again, a not bad KDA on Darius. Then we have Set. We have 16 games of Set with a 56% win rate. So my top 3 champions this year. Meanwhile, Syndra is just going to ult me and I'm dead. That's fun. And by the way, keep watching the game because it's an interesting game to say the least. Then we have Victor tied with Set 16 games. And then we have Vel'Koz. 13 games of Vel'Koz, 69% win rate with over 4 KDA. So Vel'Koz has actually been a pretty good champion for me this year. After that, we've got Annie. 12 games of Annie, 67% win rate with, again, a not bad KDA. Then we have Kayle. 11 games played with a 64% win rate. So we have some okay performance champions, but obviously low amount of games. We're finishing this season with my main account, by the way, playing 187 ranked games on my main account. I would probably predict, and if I'm probably correct in saying, this has been my least played ranked season ever since Season 1. In Season 1, I played 6 ranked games on my main account because I was a new League of Legends player. And then after that, I presume I have played more ranked games on my main account every single season. So when people will say, like, oh, Huz, like, you know, did you really have a relaxing kind of chill season? Are you just saying that? No. 187 ranked games on my main account. Yes, I had a very chill season. That's very little games. Meanwhile, doing a bit of damage on the Aurelia. Syndra, though, teleports behind me, presses R again, and I'm dead by the Aurelia. So this game's looking pretty grim, by the way. We're 1-5. Teleport and flash used by Syndra. She's 5-1, so we're basically opposites at this point. So a lot of people at this stage of the game would go, Jesus Christ, what the hell can you do? Especially that you're playing an immobile mage. You know, you're going to just maybe keep dying. You know, the Syndra can just combo you and press R and you're dead. The answer is obviously never give up. If you give up, you rage quit, like we've spoken about in this video. If you rage quit, you completely rage out and like, no, I am actually now just going to run it down and int. Because you can see all my deaths this game, they're not inting, we're just getting killed. There is a difference. But never do that. Obviously, every game, not every game is winnable, but games are winnable. As we mentioned earlier, Syndra right now has so much more kill pressure than me that I'm just dead if she hits me a few times. But I hopefully can be more useful later. I can try to achieve things later, at least. And that will be the aim of the game. So what can you do is, yeah, just play defensive. You are playing something like Vel'Koz, and that's one of the benefits. When you're playing something defensive, you can just look for your ultimate use and look for high range abilities. The bad thing is when you're playing a low-range champion and you have a game like this, then it's even harder. Anyway, Twitch looking for a play. They get a bind, bit of damage, and I end up actually picking up the kill. The Twitch wasn't, from memory, wasn't too happy about that. But I was, you know, when you're having a pretty rough game, getting a nice kill can actually help with your mindset and be like, hell yeah, I got one kill. That's nice. So there's that. Anyway, I'm probably, like, I was thinking, do I help kill the tower here? I probably should have gone bot lane quicker. But again, I know I'm supposed to lane against Syndra, but I'm also very killable to her. Like, she can still basically one-shot me if I miss position at all. So that's why I'm like, I need to go bot lane, but I need to be careful about going bot lane. But going down there is the smartest option because that's solo XP, that's solo farm, and also not taking anything away from my Twitch, potentially. Anyway, I'm pinging actually here, by the way, saying be careful. They're going for a big play. They get the Nautilus actually again. Graves going all in, gets exhausted. Morgana ultimate comes through with also a bind. And the fight might be continuing. Kai'Sa going all in. Look at that Twitch damage, by the way. He's already got 2 completed items, and he will survive by the looks of it. And that's a good survival, good double kill, a lot of Twitch damage over there. And yes, by the way, he has gone the Muramana build, so has the Kai'Sa. It's a very strong item. Obviously, no one's going to deny that. But it delays a lot of your strength. But if you can get fed in the early game with also Muramana, that's when it's very scary. And obviously, this Twitch is 5-1 with a Muramana. So he gonna be scary, which is good for us. Right now, we actually have the gold lead. You also can't ignore top lane, by the way. She's 4-1. So that's another point that a lot of people do. Have you all had that situation that you're having an okay game, but your mid laner or your top laner is not doing great, and they want to surrender, they want to leave the game, they want to, it's over, let me out, even though everybody else is doing fine. Meanwhile, Syndra surviving low health, and boom, just press my ult, and we do get that kill, which is nice for me. That was, by the way, a good feeling, killing the Syndra. But yeah, we've all been in that position, so don't be that person. You're allowed to have bad games, by the way. I know most of the League community, it feels like you're not. You're allowed to have bad games. Everybody's going to have bad games. But just don't be the reason that your team loses the game by by doing something on purpose. Like, if you do give up, if you do whatever, well, then you are losing your team the game. Keep trying, keep playing. Don't just die all the time. Keep just doing as best you can. So yeah, this is why this game, I'm playing defensive, because I don't want to die anymore. I've died 5 times. That's crazy. And, you know, we're approaching another dragon, by the way. The enemy team already have the first 2. I'm going to go back. Which is a questionable. I don't really need to go back right now. Gold-wise, I don't think... Yeah, I played this game, by the way, earlier today. So I don't really know why I went back then. That wasn't really necessary. Yeah, this... And worth also noting, when you're having a bad game, if your teammates are doing good, let them do well. We have a 5-1 Twitch. We have a 4-1 Akali. They're doing well. I'm not, but that's fine. You know, let them continue doing well. If you're just going to feed, continue being like really negative, and you're trying to FF every moment, that's not going to help you win the game. And I know some people are like, oh, they don't care about winning. That's why they're acting like that. Obviously, that's kind of true, but you can win the game. Sometimes you, even though solo queue is that way, meanwhile they're waiting in the bush. I get a nice damage spell off onto the Graves. The Kayn finishes him off. I'm just kind of hiding around the pit area. Kai'Sa is in trouble. Twitch is going for the all-in. Enemy team's clumping in this area, though. Morgana does go down. Ult with a double knock-up. We'll pick up 1 kill there on the Syndra. I'm on a killing spree now. Twitch gets another kill. And then final, the Aurelia is most likely going to go down. Triple kill for Twitch. And now, by the way, reminding people, we were, I think, 0-5 or 1-5 in this game. I'm now 4-5. My KDA is starting to stabilize. We're being useful. We actually did a decent amount of damage in that fight. We did the initial damage of Graves in this bush. We then did a nice ultimate here with the Kayn double knockup. So we're being useful. That's the point. If I just completely gave up because of this terrible early game, well, then you're conceding the game. Still continue to try to win. So we actually get the dragon. We get an ace, I think that was, or near enough an ace. And I'm going to return to bot lane to try and do just, again, a bit more of solo farming, solo XP, and all that good stuff. Probably not for long, though, because I'm still, by the way, I'm still worried that, like, ew, if I'm caught out, I'm dead. So that's why, if you're wondering, Huz, why don't you just farm one more wave? Obviously, that would be good for your gold. That'd be good for everything. It's that risk factor of not wanting to die again, not wanting to give Syndra a free kill. It's playing more defensive when you're having a bad game. And that's kind of the smarter thing to do. Meanwhile, top lane, Akali 2v1ing, does get the Nautilus, and then she's going to escape in the end, does a nice little jump over there. Syndra did TP, by the way. Akali trying to escape, and then the enemy team walks straight into a Kayn, into the Twitch damage, and that's straight up a double kill. Enemy team arguably playing a little bit too aggressive now. You know, one thing I will also say, and we've all been in that situation, that you're the Syndra, you're the only one on your team doing well. So then suddenly you feel so much more pressured on to carry the game, it actually can then lead you into making mistakes. We've all been in that situation as well. Meanwhile, the Baron is being now done. I decide I can tank this for my team, and the Baron is now done at 21 minutes, nearly 22 minutes, and that's a really good situation. So I'm going to go back now. One thing you'll also notice is we went Dark Seal, like I mentioned. That might have been a mistake to not be ahead or like get AP at the time. But we're actually up to 10 stacks of Dark Seal. That is obviously the kind of rule of, if you want to go Magi, I would generally wait until 8, 9, maybe 10 stacks of Dark Seal, then go Magi. So I could go Magi this game. Am I going to do Magi this game? Hell no. Because again, mindset-wise, a Magi item for me is when you're feeling really confident. You're like, dude, I'm having a really good game. Let's go Magi. Let's carry, get fed, blah, blah, blah. I've had a pretty bad game. So my mindset right now is not, let's get a Magi and absolutely go crazy with AP and carry and never die. It's more, I need to survive and just continue doing okay. So that's why you won't see me buy a Magi this game. But getting to 10 stacks is pretty good. Obviously, 10 stacks of Dark Seal is giving me a bonus 30 AP. So that item in itself, for a very cheap item, is giving me 40 ability power. So that's pretty good. Doing, again, a bit more solo farming. Maybe I should be on a side lane, but obviously I'm not running teleport this game. I'm running barrier. So I do have to be careful of being side laning without that. Meanwhile, we are probably going to be looking for a pick pretty soon. Twitch, obviously, with his stealth, you're trying to time things well with him. Get the Syndra Q, looking for it with the Twitch. She does flash out the way. Doesn't die in the end. Probably needed a bit more. Unfortunately for me, the bind hits, but I already used Q. And he will flash away and escape. You can see the pressure, though, is building. Even though, you know, I'm behind the Syndra. With then the Twitch using my team. And that's, again, it's a team game. Having really good pressure in mid lane and making the enemy escape. Making the strong or fed Syndra leave. And I'm still here. I'm still nearly full health. So that's not bad. Anyway, working for the tier 2, just trying to get rid of the enemy team. Land the Q with then the Twitch going for the follow-up. He does get that kill. Barrying because I was expecting the enemy team to go for me, but they don't in the end. And now my team come over, and then boom, I'm on a rampage. Morgana flashes the Graves, and then any moment we're going to go for the Graves kill. And with the Q, bam, double kill for me. And with that, by the way, everybody, I'm now 6-5. I'm 6-5-5. I now have a technical positive KD and definitely a positive KDA. And this was from a point of being 1-5, and there is the surrender vote. So this game, again, it was a really good feeling of winning the game from having such a rough early game and then 3 people being mid lane a couple times. It was a good feeling. And it was I don't know, it was an okay ending game for the season. Still not a perfect game. You know, we were down on farm or whatever. But my damage, by the way, I did the second most damage on my team. The Twitch obviously doing the most. Then I did the most. That was what I would call a good recovery. I did more damage than the Akali. That was a good recovery game. So I was happy about that. And that is going to be officially my last ranked game of Season 10. By the way, am I planning on playing on the main account in preseason? Yes, I am. So just to say what the plans are for preseason, I'm going to treat preseason as like boot camp or training because obviously with not taking Season 10 incredibly serious, I imagine I'm much more of a sloppy player now than I used to be. because I haven't been taking League serious. So I need a boot camp and I need to train a bit. So Season 10 preseason, or Season 11 preseason technically, is we're going to be kind of rediscovering champions and building obviously the champion pool with all the new items, by the way, that we're going to have to test, and training, actually actively looking on getting better, which is something, again, we've not done for a while. We did that in Season 9 and we skipped doing that in Season 10. So expect that type of content coming away in the next couple of days, which I'm looking forward to. So yeah, the feeling of try hard Huzzy will probably be back in the next week or so. Because yeah, we will no longer be in Season 10. We will then be technically in pre-season 11. So a fresh mindset, which is going to be really good. But anyway, that's going to be it. If you guys did enjoy, throw a like on it, throw a comment, throw a subscribe. Let me know what your summary of Season 10 was for you. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.